going on, y'all? The reviewer is here, and I'm back here to give y'all this movie review of Lakeview Terrace. Alright? This movie was directed by Neil LaBute, and as you see, it stars Samuel Jackson, Kerry Washington, and Patrick Wilson. Alright? Now this is kind of like a thriller film. This is the Blu-ray, of course, Experience High Definition. And it says up here, Lakeview Terrace is alive and provoking. I can kind of agree with that. And then tense and exciting thriller you don't want to miss. Samuel Jackson's at his menacing best. And you know, I'm going to agree with that. So they got the deleted scenes with the optional commentary, things like that on the Blu-ray. For what I was told, this movie is kind of based on real life events. Like there was a real interracial couple like this that moved in the neighborhood, and the officer was a black man. He harassed them and things like that. But anyway, so the movie starts off with Samuel Jackson. He plays Abel Turner. He's a police officer. If y'all unfamiliar with the situation, his wife died. She was killed in a car accident. And he has two kids, a son and a daughter. And Kerry Washington and Patrick Wilson starts as Lisa and Chris Matson. All right, and they just move in the neighborhood of, you know, Abel Turner, who's a police officer. All right, now it starts off kind of cool, you know, everything seems kind of pleasant, and little did he know, Abel Turner, is that he found out that, you know, Lisa and Chris is a married couple. All right, everything was okay. He gave them a little cop humor, things like that, telling them welcome to the neighborhood, stuff like that. And then as time goes by, you know, you notice that Chris is, you know, starting to get a little warmed in the neighborhood, introducing each other, stuff like that. Now, little do they know, it kind of felt like the couple was being harassed because of the security lights. You know, just those little small details that people didn't really pay attention to until later on in the film. Abel Turner was very hesitant on the fact that they were a married couple, interracial couple at that. So then we'll say one little spoiler in this film, that what made Abel got triggered. There was a scene where Lisa and Chris, Lisa was in the pool, Chris came home from work, he was listening to rap music. That's when some things went down in the pool and Abel Turner saw them. But they didn't know he saw them. And ever since then, he felt this threatened of the whole manor, you know, and then more things escalated to the point where they wind up hating each other. And I'm going to stop there. This movie, I'm going to give this pretty much a summary. This movie is on point to me. I like Samuel Jackson's character on here, and I think this is probably one of his best works of acting. It's very underrated. He talks in a way like he already know what people are going to say before they say it, and then he already has a comeback. You know, kind of reminds me of Training Day with Denzel Washington as Alonzo Harris, on how he used to manipulate his people or whoever he talks to. But on this one, Samuel Jackson does things like empathizing. He kind of like, when Chris tried to explain himself, he just tells him, you know, whatever, man, you do what you want to do, or this is what you may want to do, but don't do it here, and things like that. I think this is one of Samuel Jackson's best work, very underrated, by the way, and he's been in a lot of films. This movie to me is kind of underrated as well. It didn't get a lot of publicity like how it should. And what I mean by that is that people know about this movie, but they never really watch this film. Like, I'm sure they heard it on commercials, or they may have seen some clips of the movie on premium channels, but I don't think a lot of people actually sat and watched this movie to give a full understanding of what's going on here. And like I said before, this movie is based on real life events. Like, this actually happened for real. Out of all what I just said, it's a situation where one of the odds of you living next to a police officer is like slim to none, unless you really making some high, some really great money and things like that. So anyway, that's it. Shout out to the director of this film. And if y'all haven't watched this movie before, I would suggest give it a watch, because again, you have to understand this movie to appreciate it. And it says at the top 4 stars. I would give it about 3. Honestly, it's a pretty good movie. I don't think it's a classic, but this movie is kind of like one of those films that's easily overlooked because of the name. All right, so that's it. Much love to the real folks. Shout out to all the actors and actresses, and especially Kerry Washington. My goodness. All right, that's it. Much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right, peace out, guys.